An 80s classic, the Fender Super Champ, the Paul Revere design. Awesome little boogie in a box, basically. Go West, Alan Murphy is a favourite of his. Brilliant lamp. It's in for a service, makes lots of popping and crackling once it's on, volume drops, blah, blah, blah. Should be simple. Let's give it a service and check valves, blah, blah, blah. See you in a minute. Okay, just taking the back panel off and let's have a quick look what's inside. We have got in V1 a Chinese 12x7 and a Tad in V2, another Chinese. This is an issue. I believe the customer does have a spare one of these. Rocking horse poop. This is basically 3 triodes in a glass envelope. So it's a 12AX7.5. The designation of this bad boy, 6E10. 6E10? I can't remember. I just remember these being rocking horse poop. Carefuling with that. Don't want to ruin that. And 2 Tad 69 special 6v6s. I believe these are Russian ones, but these are I put these in most of my 6v6 jobs. These are excellent, old stock. So I suspect it might not be the valves in the end, but we'll see. We'll get it fired up and leave it soak for a bit. Inside the Rivera Super Champ, look at this. This is more like it after that horrid thing called the Supersonic. Oh, isn't it beautiful? Look at it. Right, let's fire it up. Okay, she's up. I've got her at 220 volts at the moment. This is a 220. That's actually split the difference between real life. Oh, let's see how bad she gets. Biased at 25 and 23. I think this bad boy's cathode biased, if I seem to remember. I shall dig out the schematics actually, have a quick look, but I think this has been serviced, but all looks to be really tidy, really neat, very original. Actually, yeah, I think these small electrolytics have been replaced. But yeah, she's got some voltage on her. Checking out the B+, so check the first node. 441, 429, 381. So yeah, we've got 4 capacitors in there, all kicking out the 400 volts. 437 on the plates. That's pretty high stuff. Right, let's do a quick tube bias count on this bad boy. 436 on the plates, and the highest one, the worst one is 27.1 cathode bias. That would put that at about 85% dissipation. So yeah, cathode bias is fine, all good, awesome. So looking at the schematic, this is an export version, and you know me, as with the last one, see this lead here coming out of the power transformer coming to here? Well, that's a black and green, and that's a 240 volt tap. So the current connected one is for 220 volts. I am going to swap those over and get this wired for 240 volts. As I said before, for many things this will make this last a hell of a lot longer, because it is actually running over voltage, and like I said, these will run absolute to the limit in the first place, all the Rivera period amps. So I'm going to do that now before I do any more soaking. Yeah, I haven't had anything unusual pops and crackles. So I'm just going to go ahead and service this because I think this just needs a bit of TLC. We'll change the tap, and this thing should be good to go and should sound phenomenal. The green and black is now connected to the power switch going to the power transformer, so that's that job. Right, let's have all the valves out, clean all the valve bases, clean all the pots, and then fire her back up. I reckon she should be good to go. So here she is, she's dialed back up. She's at 239, it was at 240. Close enough for government work. And right, biasing now. Down in the 20s. And let's see, the plate voltage is 407, much happier. Not nearly as hot. That's exactly where we want it. That's fantastic. So now that's the reverb. Absolutely maxed out. She's so much quieter now. So yeah, when I clean valve sockets and stuff, what I actually do is I take out the valve and then I will spray some Servicol, which is switch cleaning lubricant, not plain switch cleaner, which will get rid of any grease. And yes, I do use it on the valves as well, because I like to leave a film of some sort of lubricant, because if you don't, you can use a switch cleaner, clean all the crap off, and then they can rust, and then you'll have problems again later. I picked this up a tip from Skip Simmons. If you can use WD-40 but not spray it on, you need to decant it into a little bowl and use it like a paintbrush to put it on there to clean them up and then put them in. You just leave a very thin film of a lubricant over the contacts, and it stops any corrosion. And obviously you've got to use them for pots, otherwise if you just use switch cleaner they will freeze and they'll lock up and they'll be fucked. Oh, language. So yeah, that's what I use in all the valve bases as well. It does a good job. I've not had anything returned since for noise issues. Awesome. That's max volume. I'm right next to it, but volume down. Quiet as a mouse. Let's bring that down. So, as Uncle Doug would say, let's take a little time to look at this absolute jewel of an amp. I have to say, the Champ is now running like a champ. You'll hear it in the playtest. This amp sounds fantastic. Sod off vehicles. What a brilliant amp. Probably one of the better amps of the RIVERA era. Get a bit more light on here. So, I do believe these bypass caps have been replaced. There are a few replacements here, but it's been done really well, like that resistor there. There's a couple of bias resistors in there. This and some of the electrolytic caps, but they've kept the right ones. Whoever did the work on this previously has done a really nice job. Once cleaning the pots, cleaning the valve sockets and everything, resetting everything, the noise floor went down considerably, cleaned out the jack sockets, changing the power transformer to be on the correct tap, brought all the voltages bang, like within 5% of the schematic of all the test points. Before it was way over. So this thing now should last a good long while, which is good because of that sodding valve, that 6C10 or whatever it's called, being now rare as rocking horse dung. We are good to go, but in great condition. They don't make them like this anymore. Quick top, just a quick look on the top at the transformer codes here, all original. What a great amp. Look how clean it is, so tidy, no rust. Great amp. Okay, so I've been and had dinner, come back to this thing, plug back in again, and it sounded like garbage. I was like, what have I missed? Rather than take it all apart again, I had a quad of the same tubes that was living inside it before, the TAD 69 Special, and threw them in, and oh my god. I mean, it sounded good before, but then, like I said, it started to crap out when I come back in, pops and stuff. So I think as they were definitely on their way out. I put a new set of output tubes in, and my god, this thing, it's just three-dimensional, the clean sound that comes out of this thing. I love it. It's so good. Now we'll go to the playtest. Playtest time with the Fender RIVERA Super Champ. So let's set her up nice and clean, and this thing's got some top end to it. Let's give it tons of dynamics, really just everything you want from like a black face, easily small giggable, and if you need it louder, stick a mic in front of this thing. Let's bring the brightness down a little bit. Bring the master down a little bit, and we'll crank the input gain. Wonderful sounding amp, it really is. The secret weapon, of course, with the Super Champ is it's got its mid boost pull on the treble. Rootsy rocks tones, it's fantastic. And other bit you have on the Super Champ obviously is the lead channel. taste, but in a studio, I reckon for a lead tone, it's actually quite a cool sound. It'll cut through a mix and sit really well. It's kind of got that Mark 1 boogie sound to it. Obviously when you go to the lead channel, unfortunately you lose the reverb because it uses part of the reverb send and return as one of the gain stages. I can't remember the send or the return, but yeah, one of the parts of the valves that does that is used in the lead channel. What you can do is you turn the reverb up, it will use the vibration, because the return is still there, it will use the vibrations of the cabinet to give you some bloom at the back of the note. All the gain. Hold that note all day. Wow. So you can see why people use these in a studio. They're just great little tools. And those kind of mid-focus sounds, alright, not necessarily pleasing to the ear for everyday use, but in a recording they are perfect. They will sit like nothing else. The treble can be very strident. Can get a bit ratty, but again, it's a cool tone. It's a thing. It's its thing. Can't crank it too loud, but this thing breaks up everywhere you want it. I think these are a fantastic amp if you can find one in good nick. The problem is with these, they have a very silly little valve in it, which I showed you, the 3 triode. They're pretty tricky to get hold of. Probably, I think some people have modded them so you can use a couple of 12AX7s in them instead. It's a pretty harsh thing to do, but what a great little amp. Hopefully I should get some footage when the customer comes and picks it up, and some of you may know him as well. Yeah, killer little amp, what can I say? It's got that surfy reverb as well. So there I'm going between pulling the mid boost out and out. This is probably my favourite sound on the lead channel. I've got the treble at about just 3.5, bass on 8.5. The master and the lead level are really interactive in getting the sound you want. I've got the lead drive on 4. I think this gives you the sort of best of both worlds. Going between a good clean and a good overdrive. You can pull the mid boost. Killer amp. Love it. Quick go with some humbuckers. Probably get away with a bit more treble, a bit more brightness on the humbuckers. Oh man, I love it with the mid boost. Old school Billy Gibbons sort of. What a roaring. Chris here. I thought I'd interject. I was just editing this video and I've got to say, this thing sounds phenomenal. The tone out of this thing. In the room, you're almost not sure that is what it sounds like, and it just records so well, and it's so focused, and it's just such a recognisable tone. I think it's something I've heard before, and I'm sure we all have, and it blew me away quite how this thing gets that sound. What a killer amp. I just thought I'd say. Anyway, also, if you're still here,
like I say, give us a like and a subscribe. If you know someone one of these amps, steal it. It's so good. Bye.